MVP. Goal swung, right field. Forget about it. Rangers strike first. Goes after the first one. Drills a high fly ball. Left center field. This game is tied. From Javier. Seager hits a high fly ball. Deep right field. A bomb into first. On swing. High drive. It's tied. Corey Seager smashes the ball. Down line. Goodbye. Now Seager to right center field. Way back there. Gone again. Corey Seager does it again. It's Texas Rangers win the World Series. The Willie Mays Most Valuable Player Trophy presented by Chevrolet. Is there any doubt? Corey Seager.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of Right on Rangers Live, coming at you after a crushing 14-2 loss at the hands of the Toronto Blue Jays. Man, 6-0, in the second or third inning, kind of said it all, didn't it? 6-0. Wasn't able to watch the very, very start of the ball game. Kind of kept on my phone, first inning, second inning. Fully was planning third inning, fourth inning to be locked in. And look, 6-0 in the third, and it felt over. It felt over. Obviously, hung around, watched as many ABs as I could, watched a few of the bullpen pieces. John Gray come in and pitch. Was not a very fun game to follow along with. If you spent your afternoon doing something different, I cannot blame you. Disappointing loss. You really felt like last night was, I think, not quite as bad as what it was on Wednesday, but last night felt like a rock bottom. Wednesday felt like a rock bottom. I don't know what this is. More of the same. That's what it feels like. More of the same. Texas has been one of the most wildly inconsistent teams since this season began. You got a ton of hope right before the trade deadline. Winning 9 out of 10. Beating Houston right before the All-Star break. Things look very promising. It is hard to completely fathom how it's all gone so wrong in such a short period of time. Here we are, and we're here to talk about it. Don't love coming on after a big loss like this, but we got to do it. We got to talk it through. Have to. Group therapy session begins right now. You're right on Rangers. We cover everything Texas sports, but we put a big emphasis on all the teams we love, specifically from the DFW area. Throw the Texas Longhorns in there, but absolutely the Rangers during the MLB season. And we thank you for choosing Right on Rangers for all of your Texas Rangers content. We keep going. Never fails to surprise me. Absolutely. Just when you think you're definitely getting a gritty performance coming out of a bad loss, this team is going to rebound, and you know what? They'll have that quick memory. It's kind of what this team has been known for, never getting too high, never getting too low. Today definitely felt like succumbing to what has happened the past two games. You had the meltdown on Wednesday. You had the meltdown last night. Today did not feel like the team flushed it and just bounced back and kept going. It felt like the team kind of gave up a little bit today. I think for once this year, I know maybe for some of you it's happened sooner, but for me, for once this year, it really did feel like that for me today. 6-0 in the third inning. No Marcus Semien getting x-rays after being hit by a pitch. Not sure what the update is on those. If you found them out, let me know. But felt like a little bit of a give up today. We'll see how they bounce back tomorrow with Evo on the bump. But once Corbin gave up the home run, you're down 4-0 early. Didn't feel good. Felt like the game was over right then and there. We keep rolling. We're going to get as many comments and as many questions in as possible. Where do the Rangers go from here? Is there anything really to do but just keep moving forward? I've got a couple of scenarios I'm going to throw your guys' way. Nothing drastic. Really nothing drastic at this point, in all honesty. But a couple of, I think, talking points as the season continues to wind down with now 39 games left. We got to see how the results play out tonight. Rangers are, I believe, now 5 games back. Could be 5.5, depending on results from today. We'll go to the standings. We'll check it out. Perhaps the Rangers get fortunate and don't lose more ground today. You go down to 5.5 with 39 left. That just feels so tough. You have got to go on a legendary heater to get that one done. And we said it on the show last night, 28-11, 27-12. You're just making it harder and harder on yourself with every loss. Wild card standings. By the way, you got Rangers now at 5 games, and you've got Boston and Seattle currently playing right now. New York, I believe they won today as well. Yep. Yankees, I believe, or they play the Cardinals a little bit later on tonight. Maybe that's what I'm seeing here. We'll go to scores. We'll check it out. But it would appear that it could be 5.5 depending on results. Looks like the Yankees-Cardinals play at 4:15. My time, 6:15, your guys' time. So we could possibly be seeing 5.5 depending on what happens in that Yankees-Cardinals game. I'll have my eyes on that one. That game's going to be on Fox, by the way. That's a pretty big game. The Royals, by the way, have jumped ahead of the Rangers. I'm not too worried about that because we play the Royals next week. And so regardless of what the Royals do this weekend, you're going to have an opportunity. Not saying it's going to happen. Look, the team is not playing good baseball right now. But not too worried about the Royals' results. You're going to be able to pass the Royals if you play well in Kansas City. I mean, there's not a lot to indicate that right now. We're not sugarcoating anything. But I will say a little more worried about the results of the Yankees and some of the teams ahead right now. Yankees at 65-57. They are, like I said, currently 5 games ahead of the Rangers. Could be 5.5 if they beat the Cardinals. If they don't, it would go back down to 4.5. And that would at least keep the Rangers within striking distance. By the way, you remember the Yankees, because of that loss last week, right, on Wednesday, because the Rangers didn't sweep, the Yankees do hold the tie break. And so ultimately, you're really kind of 5.5 games back already on the Yankees. You kind of got to think about it in that way. Unless the Guardians are able to overtake the Yankees for that third wild card spot, or the Royals are. If it's the Yankees that you're chasing, you have to do better than a tie. You have to be up on them by a game. Otherwise, they're getting the tiebreaker. So if it is the Yankees in that 3 spot, it's going to make it even tougher. It's going to make it even harder. Appreciate you sharing the live, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. We keep rolling. What do they even do at this point? There's not a lot to do except try and continue to win baseball games. And that's tough for the Rangers right now. That is a foreign concept right now for this team. Winning baseball games, closing baseball games. All you can do is move forward. You hope Marcus Semien is back. You hope that they can get at least a win tomorrow, salvaging the series with Evo on the bump. And then you go to Kansas City and anything can happen. Maybe they get on a roll there, maybe not. Maybe this continues. I don't think that there is a lot to point to right now and think that the Rangers are going to go on some big, crazy run to finish this year. That being said, it can happen, and we'll be hoping that it does. We will be hoping that it does. I am going to continue to be here until the bitter end, just so you know. I understand some of us are probably going to take off and quit tuning in, but we are here till the bitter end. Absolutely. Just keep on going. Keep on going. That, to me, is the only thing you can do at this point. Now, there are some scenarios if the Rangers are not able to get it done, I think that are worth talking about. If you do reach that point where definitively you're out of it, right? We can all sit here and say right now they're done, they're cooked, they're not making it. We can say those things. It's still possible to make it. You've got to go on a crazy good run. It's still possible to make it. But there will come a point where it becomes nearly impossible. Right now, I wouldn't say we're at that point. with the team and how they're playing right now, it might feel that way, but it's not. The Rangers still do have a shot, especially if you can get the Yankees dethroned from that third spot. Guardians, Royals, one of those two. If they were to take the 3 spot, it'd probably be quite a bit more fortuitous. Though the Guardian series coming up, the next home series, that's going to be a pretty big one. I think I'm kind of at the point I think I shared with you guys. I want to see what happens this week in Kansas City. I mean, look, you lose like 10 in a row. I think we could probably say it's over pretty definitively. I think if you were to win tomorrow, I think if you were to win the series in Kansas City and then go home and have a good series against the Guardians, that could be a difference maker. And we're not sitting here saying there's a lot of evidence to point to that, but we are saying at the end of next week, when they finish playing the Guardians, I think you're going to have a much clearer picture. Maybe some of y'all already have it clear enough. Good for you. Good for you. For me, let's see what it's going to do by the end of next week. Let's see where the Rangers are at. Yeah, TLC, I'm with you on this. I do not at all love seeing Patrick Corbin slander. We know that Pat Corbin is not a number 1 or number 2 starter. But some people are just going to be negative towards everybody that doesn't play well. Pat Corbin has given us so many chances to win ball games this year. This was actually one of the, I would say you could count on one hand the amount of times Patrick Corbin has made it so the game was out of reach for Texas. And probably 2 or 3 fingers. I cannot think of more than 3 ball games that Patrick Corbin has pitched in where he did not give us a chance to win. I mean, look, he's given us a chance to win every time he's gone out there seemingly. It wasn't his night tonight. Was not his night tonight, obviously. But, yeah, I don't like it. I don't love seeing all of the Patrick Corbin nonsense, slander. That guy's a 5th starter. He's not supposed to be going 6, 7, giving up 1 or 2 earned runs. The guy's a 5th starter. And you know what? If the Rangers win last night and Pat Corbin comes out and does this today, I mean, look, you don't love it, but at least you got a tied-up series going into the Evo start tomorrow. Pat Corbin, not where we need to be directing anything. The Rangers scored 2 runs tonight. They scored 2 runs. Patrick Corbin would have had to give up 1 run tonight for the Rangers to win. 0 or 1. It's just not going to happen and not reasonable to expect out of a 5th starter. Keep going. Rangers are 20-1 when they score 7 or more runs. Gio, I'd imagine most teams are pretty good when they score 7 or more. Maybe not the early 2000s Rangers, but I'd imagine most teams are probably pretty solid when they score that many. We keep rolling. Appreciate all y'all. Thank you. Garrett, I'm going to be there soon. I'm not quite there yet. We're going to keep on rolling. We're going to keep on supporting the team. I want to see how they do this next week. Right now, 4.5 games. You're not out of it. You got to go on some pretty nice win streaks here at the end of the year, or at least have some really good runs in you. 8 out of 10. I think even a 7 out of 10 would be nice at this point. Now, I'm not trying to get greedy, but you're going to have to do something special down the stretch. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. You can't just keep going 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3 at a time. You got to start putting together some win streaks, some sweeps, some dominant stretches of baseball, and you've only got 39 games left to do it. 39 games is 39 games. And with only a 5-ish game deficit, I say that because the Yankees do hold the tie break over the Rangers. Perhaps the Guardians or the Royals overtake them, and then you're chasing a team that maybe doesn't hold the tie break over you. But with the Royals sweeping the Rangers earlier this season, you have got to win all 4 games in Kansas City for KC not to have the tiebreaker over you. That's another kind of interesting wrinkle for this next week of baseball. You know, you have to sweep the Royals in order to get the tiebreak from them. They've already won 3 games out of the 7. So that's another little wrinkle in the fold. And then with the Guardians, that's going to be a big series also. By the way, we close the season against the Guardians. So we're going to be playing the Guardians at home, and then we go on the road to Cleveland to close out the series at the end of September to close out the season, at the end of September. So these couple of series coming up are actually, I think, going to be pretty big in terms of tiebreaker, in terms of the wild card race in general. And I'm excited to watch the games. I don't love what I'm seeing on the field, but I definitely think that the Rangers, it's within reach. It's not out of reach completely. Feels that way maybe just because of the past 3 games and how they've gone. Maybe add in 4 games if you count Tuesday. What happened, man? Monday night, we were on cloud 9. Rowdy Tellez hits the home run. We were on cloud 9, man. Jake Berger hits the walk-off. That was Monday. Here we are Saturday in just such a different place. It's depressing, man. It is sad. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I might be smiling right now, but it's sad. It's just so unfortunate. This Rangers team had so many high hopes coming into this year, and they might still do something, but it's sad that to me that they have to make it this difficult. Just felt like at least you were going to get a wild card spot out of this squad. Maybe not the AOS, but at least a wild card spot. And, this is a great comment here. Appreciate you, man. Good to see you. I really did want to believe so badly that Monday was going to be a catalyst, that Monday was going to be a springboard, a stepping stone, a positive moment, a galvanizing moment for the club. And I did say, I didn't want to be right, but I did say, this team has had a lot of those types of moments and they've done nothing with it. They've had quite a few moments, big wins, walk-offs. The Josh Young walk-off, the 3-run bomb. Jock Peterson hits the homer. Josh Young walks it off. You thought that would have been a galvanizing moment, right? You thought Monday night would have been a galvanizing moment where they really decided we are going to lock in and go get us a playoff spot. And it just hasn't come to be. Just has not come to be. Tigers were 62-66 before they went on a run to finish at 86-76 last year. Gio, it's good hope to inject into the chat. It's good stuff. Like I said, believe it's possible, but it's not looking great, and there's not a lot of evidence for anybody to point to be like, yes, they're definitely going to do what the Tigers did last year. I know a lot of people are at this point right now just curious who's coming back next year, who's leaving. I really don't think at this point there is really a whole lot that can be done to stop some of those things that are probably already in motion. Even winning a World Series, I really question, even let's say, and I know this sounds crazy, let's say the Rangers did the unthinkable, got hot right now, middle of August, carried it all the way through the end of the year and into October and won it all. I still think that they would probably reload at multiple positions next year. I don't think that they would at all sit back and be like, we won the World Series, we're not making any moves, we're not going to do anything different. I think it would get a little cutthroat. I think that the Rangers need to do that anyways, but I don't even think a World Series win is going to save some of the players and then some of the coaches potentially from big-time changes. And I think guys like Adolis Garcia, Jonah Heim are probably playing their last season in a Rangers uniform. I would be really surprised if that wasn't the case. Bruce Bochy, I've said if they don't make the playoffs, I don't see him coming back. I do think, and I'm not trying to make a case for this, but it's just my prediction. I do think if Bochy wants to come back and coach, they're going to let him come back and coach. I don't think there's going to be any talk from CY, hey, man, why don't you go ahead and move on? I don't think CY is going to do that. I think if Bochy leaves, it's totally a Bochy decision. I don't think anybody is going to be forcing Bruce Bochy out. That's my prediction. I'm not saying I want to be right. I'm not saying I would like to be right. I'm just saying I think that CY is most likely not going to push Bruce Bochy out. I have a hard time believing it. And honestly, it would be very easy to blame the players mostly for the struggles this year. Not that Bruce Bochy hasn't had his fair share of bad decisions. But I do think that there is a very easy scapegoat for 2025, and it's the players. And I think for that reason, you can actually probably keep Bruce Bochy around, and it's really not that big of a deal in their minds. Like, I think it's pretty easy to explain away the bad year. I think it's going to have to be a mutual decision. It's going to have to be a mutual decision. I do not think that CY is going to push out Bruce Bochy. If Bochy wants to leave, of course, then you're going with Skip Schumacher or maybe another veteran manager. I don't want to see them go the Woodward route. Nothing against Chris Woodward. I actually like the guy. I think he got dealt kind of a bad hand. The Rangers had signed Marcus Semien and Corey Seager. He had the COVID year as well. There was a lot of weird stuff with Chris Woodward's tenure as Rangers manager. Trust me, I thought he made some interesting decisions trying to be nice throughout his tenure as Rangers coach, but I don't want to see that type. Former player, hasn't coached a lick in his life. I mean, look, Woody maybe had some experience here and there, but not managing big league level. It's different. And I want to see the Rangers go get another veteran type if they can. Skip Schumacher, obviously coach of the year with the Miami Marlins a few years back, in the organization already, knows the players, knows a lot of the coaches, knows the front office, feels like an obvious choice. Glad that Woody caught on. I mean, I figured he would go back to the Dodgers. Glad that he has caught on with the Dodgers. Got to get him a rascal for those mound visits. Yeah, I don't know. I would assume Maddox is coming back. I would assume that, if Bochy coaches, Mike will be there. I think they will probably move on from Brett Boone. I don't think Boone is going to probably survive. I'd be really surprised if they stuck with him. I kind of think they are going to go totally outside the organization and really try and find somebody else up and coming, lure them away, or, maybe there's someone in another organization that they've got their eye on in the minor league, something like that. I just think they're going to go for a new approach altogether. I don't think that they are going to promote from within. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but it feels like you need a big-time change, not just, hey, we're going to move up the guy, one of the guys from the minors. I don't know. I feel like you got to go outside the organization, do something different. You tried Brett Boone. It didn't really work out, and it hasn't worked out. And I hate to be right. You guys know a while back I did the Brett Boone video. I thought that they were firing the wrong guy in Donnie Ecker. I thought that the frustration from the fans was totally misplaced. And I said that the players are the ones that we got to hold responsible here. And some of them will be held responsible in the offseason when they're no longer with the club. But it's too bad. I actually kind of wonder if the season would have gone the same if Donnie Ecker would have remained, or if it would have gone differently. We'll never know, but I really do wonder that. Absolutely. We keep going. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, here's the thing. TLC, appreciate all the comments today. Hey, appreciate you guys, by the way, in TikTok. I thank you all for all the comments as well. The fluke championship argument is so stupid, but it's typical Astros. I mean, just unoriginal trash talking. Come on now. How many times do we see the word fluke championship in a chat? So people just don't have any new material of their own. And it's just so ironic whenever Astros fans bring up fluke championship. Y'all realize you were the doormat, right, for us to win the championship? I mean, I don't even get it. It's the stupidest thing in the world to me and so incredibly ironic, but you do you. But CY, back to CY. I think that he needs some blame. I don't at all understand the people, and TLC, I'm not saying that you're one of these people, but I don't get the people that don't want to give CY any blame. Like, you see some posts, this isn't on CY. This isn't on Bochy. This is on the players. Kind of. CY's the guy putting the roster together. Yes, Davis, the ownership probably stopped him and held him back a little bit with spending. But Davis is not making CY trade for Merrill Kelly and give up 3 top 15 prospects. Right? Davis is not making Chris Young trade for big country and trade for Carson Kelly and give up guys that are now major leaguers. So I understand. I don't think CY is the main problem here, but I think he needs some blame. You didn't properly evaluate the team. You wanted to believe in the team. You're competitive. You wanted them to be in the playoffs, and you thought that they could get there. You wanted to think that. And so you made these trades. Maybe it still works out. Maybe it doesn't. But if it doesn't, CY does need some blame. You can't trade away the assets that you traded away for Merrill Kelly, miss the playoffs, and get zero blame. That is on him. 100%. And look, can we just say it's the same thing last year? CY, you bought at the deadline, and we didn't make the playoffs. So now this is potentially 2 years in a row you've bought at the deadline, wasted capital in the farm system, and now you've done it again in back-to-back years. I don't know how you can get away from blame with that and all of those facts laid out. He tried and it didn't work out, and that's kind of my point. Like, I do think people kind of give a pass in that way. I don't know how exactly you meant this, but this is kind of what I mean. People would be like, well, he tried. He tried. Yeah, his job is to be right, though, not just to try. CY's job is to be right, to get it right, not just to make an attempt. Anybody can make an attempt. You or me could make an attempt at being a GM, at trading guys. You have to be right. And CY has not been right the past couple of years. It's going to be 2 years in a row he's been wrong. And so that's why I don't think CY is without blame at all. I don't think he's the main problem per se. I think had these players all performed up to their potential, we wouldn't even be talking about the moves CY has made or hasn't made. But when you're losing, that's what everybody is going to focus on. CY doesn't put pitchers out there, but at the same time, he's responsible for the pitching that has been acquired. He's responsible for Maton and Coulomb, both who played a part in blowing the game last night. So I hear what you're saying, but I think that CY definitely needs some blame. I'm not saying he needs it all, but he needs some. And look, this is an interesting point too, man. Thank you so much for the comment, by the way. Good to see you. Love you. I don't think that we're even really getting into Jake Berger and Jock Peterson. Now, look, Jake Berger, great dude, amazing guy, does so much for the community. You want him to do well, but Jake Berger hasn't quite panned out. Jock Peterson hasn't panned out. So you've got a number of places I think you do blame CY. And look, here's the other thing too. This is what I'm saying. I think you just have to be careful. Austin, by the way, appreciate you, my guy. Thanks for all the comments. You just have to be careful because I do think that there is a tendency for us to label CY trying, CY spending money as success. If you're trying, you're succeeding. But in reality, a GM's job and a president of baseball operations job is to be right. And if Jock and if Jake Berger don't work out and you're not right, that is still kind of on you. I don't see how you totally pass it off to the player when CY is going out. They send scouts to go watch Jock Peterson. They send scouts to go watch Jake Berger. They go and scout these guys, and they make the best decision they can. And don't tell me for a second that a part of their evaluation is this guy going to be good for 2 more years? Is Jock Peterson going to be good in 25 and in 26? Because we're giving him a 2-year contract. Is he going to regress over this 2-year period? Is Jake Berger going to continue his rise, hitting 30 homers each year? Or is he going to potentially slide? Look into the crystal ball is absolutely a part of what you do as a GM, as a scout, all of those things. And so I say you cannot give CY a free pass. Not totally. I'm not saying he is the reason why everything's going wrong this year, but I do not agree at all with the people that try and give him a free pass. He's made a lot of these moves that ultimately have led us where we're at. Yes, they had good intentions. CY has had good intentions. You're not paid a general manager, a president of baseball operations salary to be well-intentioned. You're paid to be right. And so do not excuse CY totally. Don't absolve him. He's made these moves. Players deserve the most blame. I think CY and I think the coaching staff is right behind him. Players are the number one for me. Players not performing, not living up to expectations. That's where the blame needs to go first and foremost. Then below that, a tier down, coaches and general management. We keep going. Appreciate all you guys. Let me get to TikTok here. Spend money to get money. They kind of have. You know what's crazy? And maybe the point is spend more, but the Rangers are a top 5 spending team in baseball. Like, this idea that they're penny pinchers is not accurate. I hear what you're saying. You'd love to see them go over the luxury tax and just throw cash at whatever, but we understand that they're a top 5 spending team in baseball, right? The Rangers have one of the highest payrolls in the sport. Like, that, to me, is even more of a reason why you can't let CY off the hook. We've painted this weird picture that Chris Young doesn't have any money to play with. Chris Young's going to have a ton of money in the offseason. You're going to have at least $30 million alone when John Gray and Tyler Mahle fall off the books. You're going to have so much money to play with in the offseason next year. Think about it. You have so many expiring contracts next year. If you get rid of Heim, Adolis, Mahle, Gray, that's over $40 million to play with. The Rangers definitely spend money. And Nick, appreciate you, man. Thank you for the comments. You're right. Unfortunately, the money is tied up in players that are regressing. Corey Seager, I don't know if this is a down year. I don't know if we want to have the regression conversation with Siegs. And by the way, he's still one of the most productive players on the team. I don't know if we need to be focusing a crazy amount on him. But no, Corey Seager is not having the year that we all wished Corey Seager would have. But again, this goes back to CY and the management. It's their decision to spend the money on a guy like Jock Peterson, on a guy like Kyle Higashioka. Higgy's been having a good second half. You've got to be right. You can't just be well-intentioned. But the idea that people put out, I see a lot of Rangers fans put out, the club doesn't spend money, they're penny pinchers. They have the 5th highest payroll in the sport. Come on. Like, I mean, I can see what you're saying, but only to an extent. Only to an extent. This team just needs to be better in a number of different ways. It starts with the players. And yes, the coaching staff and the front office deserve blame. Manager next season, I don't know. I don't know who it'll be. I think if Bochy wants the job, he's going to get the job. I don't think that they're going to force out Bruce Bochy. Anybody saying that Bruce Bochy his days are numbered, whatever the case, I don't think Bochy is getting fired. I would be shocked if they excuse Bruce Bochy from the managing position. And I know maybe some people don't want to hear that. I just do not see CY asking Bruce Bochy to leave. I think they might come to a mutual agreement, like we were saying earlier, but I can't see it happening. Flomo, yeah, they don't look like they have a lot of chemistry right now. And some of that is on coaching. Some of that is on the players and leadership on the team. But at this point, focus for me is all on the players. It's all on the players. Yeah, Corey, definitely. I think the advanced stats, and Austin, you're kind of saying this right now too. The advanced stats say that Corey Seager is still a really good baseball player. And I know some of us put more stock in advanced stats than others. The advanced stats say Corey Seager is still a very elite baseball player. And we're going to look up those just so you guys don't think I'm just saying it. I know that some people just throw out the advanced stats. And look, let's just be real about where he's at. Corey Seager is in the 97th percentile in expected WOBA, the 92nd percentile in expected batting average, the 98th percentile in expected slugging, the 93rd percentile in average exit velocity, the 95th percentile in hard hit rate. I mean, look, this guy is still an elite hitter. He is still a very elite hitter. I don't think that we can just throw off, hey, the season, wrap him into everything else going on and say he's regressing. I think the numbers would probably tell you that he's still a really above average hitter. Is he prime Corey Seager right now? Maybe that's debatable. But right now, the numbers say, the advanced stats say he's still really good. I think the issue with Corey is he doesn't have a lot of protection around him. Swolger, appreciate you, man. This is a great comment. Seager doesn't have really anybody that an opposing lineup fears. Like, think about it. With Soto and Judge last year, just for an example, I mean, you cannot walk both of them. I mean, I guess you can, but you need somebody protecting Corey Seager. Corey Seager has had Marcus Semien protecting him. Corey Seager has had Adolis Garcia protecting him. Those are not above average elite hitters. If Corey Seager did have someone that opposing teams legitimately feared, it would be a huge difference maker. He would be hitting better. He would have better numbers right now. Right now, a lot of teams pitch around Corey. They will walk Corey Seager. That's another thing he's elite in, walk rate. They will walk him to get to Jock Peterson, to get to Adolis Garcia. Ethan, agreed. Good game to miss. Blue Jays, look, it's definitely a history at this point. I'll say that. Nick, appreciate it. Bleak question, but necessary. Do any teams find value in Semien? I do think that Semien might have some value, but here's the problem with Semien. If you want to trade Semien, you either have to kick in salary, you have to pay somebody else to take him off your hands, or you have to pay in better prospects. So if you want to get rid of Marcus Semien, you have to gut your farm even more, and you probably are going to have to send cash as well. I don't see a Semien trade happening at all. I think the Rangers are going to stick it out with him another year. I do think when you get into 27 and 28, you might see Marcus and a trade potentially be a little bit more likely. I don't see it at all for next year. In the offseason, if you wanted to trade Semien again, you're giving up cash and you're sending whoever you are trading with some good prospects just because the contract is so bad. So I don't see a Semien trade as being very likely. I'm not saying that it's a bad idea. Money aside, I think that the Rangers might actually be wise to do a little bit of a reset at second base. And they probably have the guys to do it. They got Cody Freeman. Obviously, they got Walcott. You've got guys that you can potentially play there. You've got Josh Smith, even though I know some of the Josh Smith stands don't want to hear this, and I would consider myself maybe like a junior Josh Smith stan. I'm not 100% there, but I love Josh Smith. I just don't know if the guy is an everyday, no matter what type of player. And I actually think we're talking about advanced stats. I think the advanced stats back that up. And Josh Smith has had issues in the second half of seasons. I think Josh Smith is a really nice player, really versatile player. I don't know if he's a 155, 160 game a year player. I think he is a guy that you platoon, that you give off days to. He plays 5 or 6 days a week, maybe 4 or 5 days a week. But Marcus Semien isn't going anywhere. That contract is too bad. Wyatt needs to learn to stand up for himself, so stop hosing him on strike 3 calls. I'll say this. Standing up for himself aside, Wyatt Langford has had some terrible luck at the plate. And I think it's definitely something that needs to be studied. Dude gets so many strikes called on him that are like 6 inches off the plate outside. It's wild. But I think with Wyatt, I mean, look, the plate discipline is improving, but it's not great. He's not necessarily a big-time respected hitter in the game. You're not going to get really, really great treatment unless you are a respected hitter. I don't know if Wyatt Langford's there yet. I think standing up for yourself might make a difference, but these umps from game to game, they're not worried about Wyatt Langford, even if Wyatt Langford did start yapping. If Wyatt started yapping, it's not like umpires from game to game are like, I better make sure I call right. Wyatt Langford, I got to watch out for that guy. You know what I mean? Like these umpires, it changes every night. Nobody is going to be worried about Wyatt Langford. Like, again, if this was a big star, Bryce Harper, now we're talking a different story. I do think that they're from umpire to umpire. Look at Bryce Harper. They know that he is going to yap if you don't get it right. Some umpires love that, though. They're like, oh, I got Harp tonight. I'm calling whatever I want. I hope that he says something to me. That's what we aren't even considering. Some of these umpires like it when players start yapping at them. They like it. So I don't really think Wyatt standing up for himself is going to do a whole lot. Be a better hitter. Be a more respected hitter. And I think you will start getting some of those calls. But the bottom line is, a lot of these guys, I don't want to say a lot. Let me not speak in hyperboles here. There are some umpires in the game that genuinely enjoy the confrontation. So I don't think that that's going to work out great for every umpire. You got to know the umpire. You got to know which ones you can go back and forth with, which ones it might actually make a difference for, and which ones are just baiting you and probably going to end up tossing you. Rangers might not have a 25 homer hitter this year and won't have a hitter hit 275 to 280. I think Corey might get there, Ethan. Siegs is at 17 right now. I think he could hit 8 over the course of the next 6 weeks. I think it's a possibility. So, look, I would probably take the over on that bet. If it's 25 and a half, maybe not. I would probably say Corey Seager gets to 25 home runs this year. I think he will. Now, I don't think there's going to be a lot of other guys getting close to that, but I think that Corey probably makes it to 25. ABS on every pitch, every aspect of the game has to be right. Why would we want sometimes on pitches? TLC, I think I commented to you on this. I'm not a fan of every pitch yet. I want to see ABS challenge system, and then I want to think about more whether or not you want full robo. In my emotional moments, I've said full robo. I don't know if I want full robo. I want them to get it right in the big moments, and I think the ABS challenge system helps with that. Now, I'm a big fan of extended challenge system more so than what they have right now. I think every hitter should get 3 challenges. I think it should be an expansive challenge system. Every hitter gets 3. Every pitcher gets X amount per inning. I think it should be for the pitcher, you get 3 an inning, and we go from there. I don't think that you need to have such a bad cap on the challenge system like they have right now. I don't know what it is right now. I forget all the rules like they had for the All-Star game. I'd love to see an expanded challenge system where every hitter gets 3 a game and every pitcher gets something like 3 an inning. I don't know. I say that because you get bullpen guys coming in, and with the starting pitching not really going that deep anymore, I think it would be tough to pull off doing more than that or doing less than that. For me, I'd like to see the challenge system. I'm not ready for robo-umps. Not ready for it quite yet. People in DFW are saying the same thing about the Rangers. Let's keep going. This person who sometimes hears the games on 105 The Fan. Eric Nadell, people in DFW are saying the same thing. What are they saying? What are we talking about here on TikTok? It's not a culture problem. How have the Astros stayed on top for so long? It might be a culture problem, But I will always say this. The culture does matter. It doesn't not matter. But I have never thought about the culture of my team when I am in the batter's box against a pitcher. I can only speak from my experience. When I've been on the mound in my baseball playing career, when I've been in the box up against a pitcher, let me tell you how many times I think about the culture of the team that I'm on when I'm one-on-one competing. So I can only go so far with the culture argument. I think it matters. I don't think it's a nothing burger. Just like I think coaching matters and coaching can make a difference. You guys have heard me say that many times, but you've also heard me say when you're in the box one-on-one, you're not thinking about the culture of the team. You're not thinking about any other nonsense. You're just thinking about getting a hit. You're thinking about getting a hit. And I just refuse to make that the primary. We can list it as a secondary reason why the Rangers haven't worked out this year. But for me, I cannot make things like culture or coaching the primary. It's always going to be on the players. When you're on that mound, when you're in the box, you're one-on-one, and you've got to deliver. And the players, they're professionals. Tune it out, and you play the game. And maybe that's oversimplifying it, but again, I never once thought about the culture of my team when I was facing an opposing pitcher. When I was on the pitching mound throwing to a batter, I never once thought about what's the culture of my team like and how is it psychologically weighing me down. You're just out there trying to win a battle, man. You're trying to win a battle. So I can only go so far with that argument. I'm not saying it's a bad point. Keep going. The World Series was a fluke. I mean, look, I will always say this, and I don't want to get into this too much because we talked about this yesterday, and all my longtime peeps, you guys have heard me go off on this enough, but it's never a fluke to win a World Series. It's hard to win a World Series. It's hard to repeat. Why haven't any teams repeated since the Yankees back in, the turn of the century, 99, 2000? Because it's hard. Baseball is a hard sport, but there's nothing fluky about going 11-0 on the road. There's nothing fluky about winning Game 6 and Game 7 in Houston. There's nothing fluky about sweeping a Baltimore team that had won over 100 games that year. There's nothing fluky about beating the Rays after traveling cross-country from Seattle to Tampa Bay and literally turning right around and playing a 3-game set in Trop. I don't think there's anything fluky about that year. The Rangers earned every bit of that year. Fluky would mean you ran into a team that was injury decimated. There were a lot of crazy bad calls that ended up going your way. The Rangers earned every bit of their World Series, man. Every bit. Rangers are done. Nah, they're not done, but it's not looking great. It's not looking great. The Rangers need to bounce back, and they need to win some games here this next week. I will probably be able to make a much clearer determination at the end of this week. You guys know I don't care at all about being right. August 16th, 6 weeks before the season's even over. I don't care about being right. I told you the Rangers weren't going to make it. Great. Moving on. Again, if you come back here in a month and the Rangers have been eliminated, nobody is going to think you're special. Nobody's going to call you a Nostradamus because you were right on August 16th. It's just not worth it. If you're a fan of the team, cheer for the team to do well, especially while they're still in the race. They're still in the race. They still have a shot. It's not looking great, but nobody cares if you called it in August that they weren't going to make the playoffs. You're honestly kind of blending in with a lot of the noise already. And if the Rangers are able to come back, it's the same people saying they're done that are going to be right back on the wagon when they reel off a 9 or 10 game win streak. It's just how it goes. I'd rather be somewhere in the middle. It's not going great, but they're not out of it quite yet. We keep going. Pochi is ready for the fishing trip to Galveston. You think he's going another year? I It wouldn't surprise me if he came back. You know, they maybe tried to get him to go out on a good note. That, to me, would not shock me. I could absolutely see them moving on, and Bruce Bochy would probably have to be the one to lead that charge. But we'll see what happens. Let's see what else we got. Appreciate all you guys hanging out, by the way. Thank you so much. How did the Blue Jays pop in August? I've heard a lot of people say, like, how are the Blue Jays winning so many games? Like, they don't really have that great of starting pitching. Like, their starting pitching's okay, but it's not, like, that great. They don't have, like, a true ace. Gosman is good, but not shutdown ace good. You've got a few other guys that definitely Barrios. I mean, he's pretty good, but not, you don't think of him as playoff shutdown ace. It is very, very impressive how they continue to win ball games. I'll give them my respect. We keep rolling. Need Evo to pitch a gem tomorrow. That's where we're at. That's all you can really focus on at this point. Caden, what's good, my guy? Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. Yeah, we are down bad right now. We're down bad right now, my guy. When your offense plays, you can keep games close. Good point. Personally, I want Bochy back. CY has done right by him, going for it with 40 to 50 million off the books. I feel like the Rangers opened checkbooks for Bochy last year. Ethan, this is kind of my take too. You know, always appreciate your comments, man. Thank you for the support of the show. I think that the Rangers have some money to play with next year, and I think they're going to make some big swings. I do. I don't think you're going to see Texas sit back and let everybody get gobbled up and then try and piecemeal a bunch together. I think Texas is going to go and make some big swings. You've got a lot of money potentially coming off the books. Look, you've got all of these free agents. You've got guys coming up from the AAA team that I think could potentially contribute. You've got Curvelo, who appears to have found a spot in the bullpen. You've got Cole Winn, who is still very, very affordable. You've got some guys, I think, coming up at the AAA level that can contribute, maybe replace some of the one-year guys like Armstrong and Milner that are on the expiring contracts. I think that they are going to make a big swing for a big bat. I think they're going to bring back, obviously, a lot of the core. You've got Wyatt Langford, you've got Evan Carter, you've got Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, and I think Jock Peterson is going to be a part of it. I really would be surprised if they moved on from Jake Berger. I think that they probably try to reboot on Berger. I don't think that they do a whole lot with first base. I personally think that you should be open at first base if something good comes along, but I see the Rangers sticking with Berger next year. I do think you absolutely are going to see a reboot at catcher and at right field. I don't think Adolis Garcia will be back. I don't think there's really any chance of that. So I think for sure you're rebooting right field and catcher, and we'll see what happens from there. You're going to have to potentially go out and, you know, see what you can get in the bullpen market. I don't think you're going to be able to fill out the whole bullpen with guys from within the organization. So Chris Young, the pro scouts, they always do a nice job with the bullpen pieces. I'm not too worried about that reload. I'm really curious to see what they do with the offense. I hope, Ethan, I hope you're right on that. Really hope you're right on that. But this is another good point. Like, you've got the starting pitching. I've said this before so much. Like, you've got a good core. You've got DeGrom. You've got Evo. You've got some up-and-coming guys on the offensive side that could keep getting better. Wyatt Langford, Evan Carter. You've still got Corey Seager, elite when it comes to the advanced stats. Is he necessarily at the peak of his career, the best he's ever been? I don't know. I would probably say no. But if he comes back and has an outstanding season next year, makes the All-Star team, is anybody going to be surprised? I would think not. I think that they're going to have a hard time keeping some of the one-year guys, some of the guys that are on expiring contracts. My guess is maybe they can retain one of them, but some of these guys are just going to go where they can get paid the most money. Relief pitching is such a tough business. You're not going to fault any of these guys for going money chasing. You're just not. Appreciate all you guys. Where's Garcia going? They're going to trade him. I don't think that they're going to keep him at all. I think that they will trade him preferably to an NL team. He's got 1 year of control left, so it's a team that maybe needs a corner outfielder. I think there will be some suitors for him. Still gold glove defense out in right field. Streaky hitter. Pop potential. Probably some teams that are studying the film on him, are scouting him, and think that they could maybe make a few changes that will unlock him even more. And maybe that's true. Sometimes a fresh set of eyes on a player with fresh advice helps the player to turn it around. I think that there is upside with Adolis Garcia that a team would be interested in taking a risk on for a 1 year, essentially a 1 year deal. Move Marcus? No, I don't think so. Trade him to the Astros? Yeah, that's not happening. The Rangers will probably trade Adolis Garcia to an NL team somewhere. Yeah, Eagle, wasn't a good game. We're kind of moving into talking about long-term outlooks right now. Yeah, I don't think either one of these guys is going to stay TLC. I don't think either guy stays. Do you really, like, this is the way I think about it. Do you really want to pay Jonah Heim $7 million, $8 million? Like, do you really want to pay Jonah Heim that much to be below average? Do you really want to pay Adolis Garcia, $7 or $8 million to do what he's doing? Or would you rather just cut bait and start fresh? I think you start fresh. I hope 2026 is better. 25 ain't over quite yet, but it ain't looking good right now, folks. It ain't looking good. Yeah, Ryan, with Milner and Armstrong, appreciate the comment, man. With Milner and Armstrong having good seasons, there are going to be suitors for them. Really, the entire bullpen. I mean, sans a couple of players, a lot of the bullpen pieces are going to have people that are after them next year that are willing to pay them more than the Rangers probably will be. Rangers, the MO is go get value in the bullpen market. I think they probably already got their eyes on some guys for next year in the bullpen market that are on expiring contracts. Rangers love to look at those guys that are coming off an injury, are coming off a down year, and buy low. That's what they like to do, and they've been pretty good at doing it. Adolis is not a free agent. He has 1 more year of club control. 1 more year on the rookie deal, and then after that, he will be a free agent in 2026. Rough year to be a free agent with the CBA expiring after the 2026 season. Yeah, Rowdy pitched 2 innings, got a home run hit off of him. It was great. By the way, Rangers only had 7 hits today. Jake Berger had 3 of them. And that's why I say I do think the Rangers are probably going to end up sticking it out with Jake Berger. OPS almost at 700 for Berg. Jock Peterson was 0 for. Corey was 0 for. Wyatt Langford went 1 for 5 with 3 Ks. Wyatt, a lot of strikeouts. That's got to be probably his biggest point of improvement is not striking out. Not striking out as much. That has been a huge, huge problem for him this year. Evan Carter did go 1 for 1. Higgy went 0 for. Josh Smith 0 for 2. Ezekiel Duran 1 for 4. Jonah Heim 0 for 4. Rangers had 8 strikeouts total. Pitching wise, John Gray did not have a good day. ERA up to 7.71. Without being disrespectful, can I just say this? Do you guys remember when everybody thought John Gray was going to be the savior for this bullpen? And I kind of said, look, he's a nice player. Dude's had a 4+ ERA his last 2 seasons. He's a nice player. He's not bad. He's not terrible. I mean, look, this year there's an argument for that, 7.71 ERA. But you remember that? Like, we all thought John Gray. I mean, I really didn't. I'm not trying to I told you so this one. I would tell you if I needed to eat some crow. I did kind of say, guys, John Gray is not a closer. John Gray is not the guy you want in crunch time. The guy has had a 4+ ERA both in 24 and in 23. This guy I know was great down the stretch for us in 23. You can say that about a lot of players on the Rangers. So I think John Gray's days in Arlington are are very numbered unless he really wants to come back on some super friendly low ball salary. I don't see John Gray coming back. Yeah, Cody, thank you. I do know that we, at least some of us, had high hopes for John Gray. I got to say, the 4+ ERA was burned into my mind at all times this year over the last 2 seasons for John Gray. Yeah, $14 million off the books for sure. It's a lot of money for John Gray. I was a little surprised that the Rangers didn't try to get creative with him at the deadline. But look, they just weren't selling really anybody at the deadline. At that point, they had just won a bunch of games in a row. I don't know if there would have been a lot of takers for John Gray anyways, but maybe. I don't think that they are going to be holding on to him at all. Yeah, maybe, Ethan, you might be right on that. You might be right on that. There is a potential for a work stoppage in 26, yes. So it's unfortunate. All of the guys that are about to be free agents, not this offseason, but the next, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I really hope there's not a crazy lockout for obvious reasons. If there's no baseball to talk about, Right on Rangers isn't going to have a whole lot of content. Like, I guess we can focus on the NBA playoffs. Maybe the Mavericks will be in it, but I hope that they get that work stoppage figured out, man. I really do. Mike, hope you've enjoyed the last couple of days. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully the Rangers can salvage it tomorrow. Nick, I'm not there quite yet, but it ain't looking good, brother. It ain't looking good. All right, let's check out the game for tomorrow, and then we are going to wrap things up for the evening. Look, I'll tell you what, all you guys who are hanging out right now, I appreciate you. One thing you're never going to be able to accuse us of, unless we are just busy, we've got something going on with the fam or with work, we're going to be here. We're going to be here. Yes, when I'm watching the score unfold, I absolutely think to myself, man, it would be easy to just skip today. But you know what? No. We're not quitters, man. We are not quitters here on the show. We are going to stick with it till the end. And even when the Rangers, if the moment comes where they're knocked out of it, we'll still be here. Talking about 2026, evaluating, looking ahead. It's what we always do here on the show. It's what we can always count on. We keep going. Appreciate you guys. Real Muto, a catcher. Hey, by the way, Andrew, what's up, man? If you're still hanging out on Instagram, appreciate it. If you could get JT Real Muto, I would absolutely love that. If you can find a way to get JT Real Muto as your catcher in 2026, that would be a dream for me. And I've said that forever. Hot stove at Christmas time is awesome, man. We will be doing off-season shows. Obviously, it'll be football season, but every Wednesday, I settled in on Wednesday night. Every Wednesday night, I would do a Rangers off-season show, and I plan on doing that again. And, of course, if we sign somebody, if we make a trade, we get on and we do the Wednesday show still, but we do an additional show if there's a big move. What's a big move? Like, we got on for Jock Peterson, right? That was a pretty big move. Hasn't panned out this year. We got on when Evo re-signed. Look, all the pitchers that were relative unknowns, no, we didn't hop on after the Hobie Milner signing. No disrespect to Hobie. But if there's a big move that the Rangers make, we'll hop on. But every Wednesday, I do an off-season show. So we're not going every day like we do during the season, but we're going once a week until the season begins. And then we start heating up a little bit in spring training. I think we moved it to 2 shows. We did like a Wednesday, Sunday, and we'd recap some things from spring training. So it's great. It's good stuff. Appreciate all you guys. Rangers fan always. I'm with you. Hey, Dominic, enjoy. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, the winter meetings was here, and we got Jock and Berger. Yep, absolutely. Keep rolling. Next season, top priority, protection for Seager, catcher, and first base. JJ, I think they're going to stick with Berger, but I'm 1,000% with you on catcher. If they moved on from Berger, I like Berg a lot. Great dude. We know the community outreach and the support and all the good that he does. But if they moved on from Berg, I wouldn't be crying in my beer. I would not be upset, enraged, any of those. I would be thinking to myself, wow, they really didn't wait too long on that one. But if they moved on from Berg and wanted to do something different at first base, you wouldn't hear a ton of complaining out of me. That being said, I get the rationale for keeping him. It's a young, controllable player who arguably is going to get better and better each year, should be getting better and better each year. It just is not going to surprise me if they ultimately go that direction. Holy Toledo. It's just a moonlight gig, man. All-star catcher, millionaire, MVP candidate by day, Rangers podcaster by night. And it would not be a show without a Cal Raleigh comp. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the comment. All right, let's do tomorrow. We got to flush this stupid game out of our system, just like we did with last night. It's the baseball player in me, man. Look, I think I've told y'all my baseball career was not illustrious. I had a lot of fun playing the game, got to play a little bit in college. Look, I definitely will never get on here and brag about my baseball accomplishments, but you know what? I've been around the game a lot, and there's nothing to do but move forward. You lose these games. That's what baseball players do, man. You flush it out, and you do it again the next day, and you just train yourself to do that day in and day out, and that's a big reason why we are the way we are here on the show. Some people will DM me, dude, how do you go on after some of these games are so terrible? It's like, I don't know, man. It's just how I'm built, man. It's just how I work. It sucks. Losing sucks, but you just move forward. And you know what? You love your team. You're not going to give up on your team, especially when you're playing. You're not giving up. You're still playing. You're still going out there and competing. And that's what we do here on the show. All right, tomorrow's game. Let's get to it. Evo on the bump. And I say this. If nothing else, appreciate some of these guys that have been great for us this year. DeGrom, Friday night, he was dominant. That's what I hate about the bullpen giving it up. DeGrom was dominant on Friday night. Gave up 2 base runners. 2 base runners on Friday night for DeGrom. And so tomorrow, connecting the dots here, Nathan Eovaldi, there's still something to play for. Cy Young candidacy still within reach. I'm sorry, dude's got a 171 ERA. The Cy Young is still within reach, and I'm cheering as hard as I can for this man to get his first Cy Young award. That would be incredible. It wouldn't ease all the pain from this season, but it would help. I'd love to see a Nathan Eovaldi Cy Young, so I'm tuning in for that alone. I want to see this man dominate tomorrow. We're going up against Barrios. Not an easy guy to face, but a 3.74 ERA. It's not like this guy is unhittable. Game, by the way, going to be in the morning, 10:30. Tomorrow, we might have to make a little bit of an adjustment with the time that we get on. We got a couple of things going on with the family tomorrow, but I'm going to get on at some point. It might be later in the afternoon. I don't know that we'll be able to do our typical 8th, 9th inning. It's possible, but I just don't know if we're going to be able to pull it off. It might have to be a little bit of a later show tomorrow. Hope you understand. I will definitely try and give advance notice if I possibly can. By the way, if you don't follow me on X or Facebook or any of those, highly recommend it. I will communicate a lot through those mediums. TikTok, I'll try and maybe throw up a story, something like that. But not sure I'll be able to do my typical, but maybe, an hour or two after the game, something like that, I'll be able to hop on. If you can join, great. You catch us on the replay. Anybody on TikTok, by the way, all my shows get posted on YouTube. So if you guys ever miss a live, you're thinking, man, I wasn't able to hop on for Right on Rangers, go over to YouTube. We've got every show that gets posted there and sticks around forever. So yeah, a little pro tip for you if you ever miss a show on TikTok. All right, tomorrow, Evo against the Jays. Barger, 0 for 1. Bo Bichette, 346 average with an 884 OPS in 26 career at-bats. Talking about the Blue Jays against Nathan Eovaldi, probable starter for the Rangers tomorrow. Clement, 1 for 4. Ty France, 7 for 14 with the homer. Ty might be a guy to look out for tomorrow. Jimenez, 4 for 10. Vladdy, 417 average with 24 career ABs. He does have a homer as well. Alejandro Kirk, 6 for 11. Got some guys that have hit Evo kind of hard, man. I'm not liking what I'm seeing so far. Lukes, the right fielder, the godlike defensive right fielder for the Blue Jays. Lukes is 1 for 2 with an RBI in his career. Schneider, here's a better one. 1 for 5, although he does have a homer. George Springer, 23 career ABs, 261 average with a homer. Straw looks like 3 for 11 with 2 RBI. Varsho, 0 for 1. A lot of dudes on the Jays hitting Evo pretty well. Now, look, I don't know how long ago this was or anything like that, but you've got a lot of guys with plus 300 averages, man. Bichette, France, Jimenez, Guerrero, Kirk. I'm not going to count some of the guys with only like 2, 3, 4, 5 ABs, but you've got a number of names that have hit him pretty well, unfortunately. Now, on the other side, Barrios. You've got Berger, 2 for 8 in his career against Barrios. Haggerty, 0 for 2. Heim, 0 for 3. Higgy, 2 for 10 in his career against Barrios. Blue Jays probable starter. Wyatt Langford, 1 for 3. Jacques Peterson, 2 for 4 with 2 RBI. Corey Seager, 4 for 7 in his career against Barrios. Marcus Semien, I don't know if we'll see Semien tomorrow. Have they talked about the x-rays on Marcus at all, by the way? Has anybody heard anything more about the Marcus Semien x-rays? Let me know if you have. But Marcus, again, 3 for 12 with the homer against Barrios. Josh Smith, 0 for 3. Rowdy Tellez, 3 for 11 with 2 bombs. I would imagine you probably see Rowdy tomorrow. So you got some guys who have hit Barrios fairly well. Not quite like what the Jays have done against Nathan Eovaldi, but I digress. The Rangers need a win tomorrow. I don't know you can recover from losing this many games in a row. It'll be 5 straight games unless they just get really lucky with the teams ahead of them. X-rays negative. Colby, thank you. X-rays negative. That's good. Phew. Padres will win the World Series. That would probably be my NL team, honestly. That would be my NL team. Ethan, you're going to guarantee a Rangers win? How have you been? What is your record when you guarantee a win? Because I feel like you've guaranteed a couple of times, and it's worked out. Am I just imagining that? What's your record when you guarantee? It's going to be tough tomorrow. I do agree. It's not going to be easy. Eric, what's good, man? Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. Let me see here. Rockies could move Hunter Goodman. Yeah, Hunter, I would take Hunter Goodman for sure. I don't know how much he's going to cost, but I would take him. We'll see what happens, man. Tomorrow is going to be interesting. Now I'm getting Evo comparisons. Shoot, that's even better. I thought Cal Raleigh was pretty good. I'll take the Nate Eovaldi comparisons, whatever. Keep comparing me to future potential Cy Young candidates and future MVPs, guys making millions of dollars. Hopefully I can be doing that one day. That would be awesome. But until then, we keep grinding here at Right on Rangers, man. Prospect Times, what's good? Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. X-rays negative on Semien. Yep. Prospect Times, by the way, love the stuff. Love what you put out on Caden Scarborough. I've really enjoyed watching him pitch. He's been awesome this year. I've not obviously been able to tune into a lot of games, but have watched as many highlights as I can. I'm really excited about him. Appreciate you hanging out, man. All right, y'all. I think it's about that time. I mean, look, we got an hour and 14 minutes worth of content from a 14-2 ball game. You guys are a big part of that. I'll give myself a little pat on the back. Like, it's not easy to go an hour and 15 minutes when you lost a game by 12 runs, but we did it together. We managed to make it work. So I want to say a special thank you for hanging in there. Hey, if you're hanging out right now and you haven't hit that follow button, please do so. We do this literally every day, a lot of the times during the 8th or 9th inning of a Rangers game, sometimes post-game. Tomorrow, like I said, the schedule with the family might be a little bit less conducive to doing 8th or 9th and right after the game, but we will go live tomorrow. It might just be a little bit later in the day. If I end up getting on in the 8th or the 9th and surprising you guys, you know what? Merry early Christmas, but it might be a later show tomorrow. I appreciate you understanding, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what I can pull off. Rangers therapy. JJ, that's what I'm saying. It's Rangers therapy. Rangers therapy session is just about over for the day. Ethan, I hope you're right. I hope this is the butt kicking that gets them woken up. You know, we've all said the homers, the big moments, like what happened on Monday with the Jake Berger walk-off and extras. Like, could that be the moment? Maybe it's going to take a negative moment like this to get this team going. It's all you can really hope for. It's all you can really hope for at this point. Hey, love you guys. Thank you so much. Again, if you know somebody that's a diehard Rangers fan, please share the video with them or go to one of my reels, one of my shorts after the game. Share a video. It would mean a lot to me. I know a lot of y'all support the show in other ways. We had some people give gifts on the show today. Thank you so much for your generosity. It means a lot. I know I've got some members, some paid members and subscribers on the show today. Thank you so much. Any support helps. We are slowly but surely trying to make this a bigger and bigger voice in Rangers baseball, and you guys are a big part of that. So we don't take any support for granted. It doesn't have to be financial by any means. We value a follow, a like, a share just as much. It's so meaningful. But I appreciate those of you that go above and beyond. Like I said, I'm blown away by all of the support you guys have poured out. We're getting close to 10K on TikTok. I think we're a little over 300 people away from 10K on TikTok. We got over 2,000 on YouTube recently. And you guys are a huge part of that. So thanks so much. Look, even in bad losses like this, it helps my day get better coming and hanging out with all of you. So thank you. Appreciate that. All right, y'all. One last thing. I'll drop the link to become a paid member on YouTube. If you have kind of been thinking about maybe supporting the show in a little bit of an extra way and you want to become a part of our Discord, pretty much the only thing we've monetized on the channel, think about copying and pasting that link into a browser of your choice. Would love to have you in the Discord. $2.99 a month. And again, if you're on TikTok, bottom left corner, hit that subscribe button to do it same way, and we'll get you in right after the show is over. That would be an above and beyond thing. Thank you for considering it. But in the meantime, if it's not for you, like a video, share a video, become a follower. Mean a lot. Like I said, don't take anything for granted. Love y'all. We're going to get off. Have a good rest of the Saturday night. Do something fun to take your mind off of baseball. Cheer against the Yankees. Whatever you got to do. And we'll come back tomorrow ready to go. That's the plan. That's what we always do. Rain or shine. Rangers fan till I die. And we're not hiding when it's bad. We'll always be here bringing you the best content we can. And we're going to stick to that. Hold us to it. Love y'all. Have a good night. And as I always say to end every show, God bless and go Rangers.